And Dr. Prince Osei is here for us to talk about atherosclerosis. I wish Desmond was here to pronounce it, and I know you are watching. Dr. Prince Osei, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Nana.
It's good to have you. It's good to see you every Thursday. Do you see one who say, and also I atherosclerosis.
Okay, so you know, when the heart pumps the blood, it passes through blood vessels. So the blood vessels is like the pipes that carry the blood throughout the body. Okay. So when those blood vessels hardens up, that is when we say that you have atherosclerosis. But there are two types. There is a type that is just the blood vessels that is hardening up, and there are certain things that can cause that. And there is another one. The one we are talking about is the atherosclerosis, but there is arteriosclerosis. That is the blood vessels hardening up. But when the blood vessels hardening up is caused by the buildup of cholesterol, then it means you have atherosclerosis.
By cholesterol?
Yes.
Which you mean fat?
Fat,
okay.
Yes. So the blood vessels can harden up by itself. That is arteriosclerosis. But when the blood vessels is hardened up due to buildup of fat, then we say you have atherosclerosis. Yeah, so those are the two major types. Yeah. And with the arteriosclerosis, without the cholesterol one, those who smoke nicotine, coffee, and all those things, the side effect, it can lead to that atherosclerosis. It can harden the blood vessels. You know, the heart is pumping with a force. So the blood vessels needs to relax so that the blood can pass through it. So when it hardens up, with the pressure with which the heart is pumping, may cause the blood vessels to burst. That is why the blood vessel is quite elastic. So it opens up so that the pressure with which the heart is beating can be accumulated by the blood vessels so that it can easily move the blood to the other parts of the body.
So let me do my little biology.
All right.
So let's say the arteries and the ventricles. Does it affect it in any way?
Yes, so the ventricles is what pumps the blood.
Yes.
The ventricles is part of the heart.
Yeah.
The force that pumps the blood. So when it pumps the blood, it passes through the aorta. Yeah. Then the aorta is the major artery. True. Then it's supplied to the small arteries. Yeah, so the small artery, we have the brachial artery, which passes through the hand. We have other forms of artery within the body. So when the heart is beating, the blood passes through these arteries, but when it hardens up, then it means that it can't. Yes, with the pressure with which the heart is pumping it, the arteries wouldn't be able to accumulate it.
It wouldn't work well.
Yes, it wouldn't work well, and it can lead to so many medical conditions. Yeah,
like stroke.
Definitely, it's one of them. Yeah.
Let's talk about how it's diagnosed.
Okay, so mostly with the atherosclerosis, when you have, we do a cholesterol test and we notice that your total cholesterol is high or your LDL, low density lipoprotein, is high. Last week we talked about the fact that we have the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol. The low density lipoprotein is also known as the bad cholesterol. That is what causes the buildup. The body needs cholesterol to survive, because there are some vitamins that is fat soluble. So it's the cholesterol, the body produces the cholesterol to transport those vitamins. So some people come to the hospital, and when you check for their cholesterol, they will say, oh, I don't eat fat, I don't eat. Yeah, but then your body is already producing it because your body needs it. Yeah. But when there is a buildup, when it produces it too much.
When it's in excess.
It's in excess, yes. Then it can cause these accumulations within the blood vessels. And we shouldn't always see cholesterol as something for people who are obese. Yeah, so sometimes when you talk about fat, those who are slim might think that, where is the fat in my body? But this one is not the fat on the body or the muscles, but it's within the blood vessels. That is what carries oxygen, some vitamins within the body. Most of the things in the body are aqueous, but there are some vitamins that are fat soluble, so it needs some bit of fat to transport those vitamins within the body. So when those the fat builds up too much in the body, then it can cause this atherosclerosis. It's like having the pipes in your house, and there's, let's say, sun has filled the pipes. You see that when you press the pipe, it can become very hard. Yeah, the same way when the cholesterol builds up within those blood vessels, the blood vessels can become very hard. And it depends on where the buildup is. When it leads to the blood vessels that supplies blood to your leg, you start experiencing pain in your legs. Because there wouldn't be enough blood supply or oxygen supply to the legs. So some people complain of severe pains in the legs. It could be because of the blood clots within the legs.
Okay.
So oxygen is not able to get to the leg.
Yeah.
When you have it within your chest area, some people experience heart pain. You know, the heart pumps the blood, but it also needs blood supply. So the heart, it pumps the blood, but there is an artery that leads into the heart to supply the heart with the blood that it also needs to survive, because it's an organ that needs blood supply. So when that blood vessel too is accumulated with fat, it means that there wouldn't be enough blood going back to the heart. Yes, so you start having chest pain. Yeah, so that is what can lead to the heart failure, as you mentioned. Yeah, so if enough blood is not going there, it can lead to that. Yeah.
We will talk about the risk factors, but this is a message. Someone is asking that, what are the early signs of a hardened ventricle or an artery?
Mostly you wouldn't see.
Mostly
you wouldn't see. By the time you start noticing these symptoms, then it means that the place is already being blocked, or there is not enough blood supply to the particular place. So if you have it in your legs, then it means that that is what I mentioned, that you start having those leg pains. Wherever you have the blood supply, the lack of blood supply, you start having pains within those areas. So when you are having unexplained pains in the leg, which is not the muscle, which is not the bones, then it could mean that you may be having these atherosclerosis within the legs.
Don't think it's this one, muscle.
No, this is not muscle poo.
This is not
like
muscle
you feel it, and sometimes it radiates. Some people too may say that it's sciatica. Because of the pain, the nature of the pain. Yeah, so if you're having any unexplained pains within the legs, within the arms, and you've done x-ray, you've done all the tests, you are not really finding anything, it could be that there's not enough blood supply. And also those who keep having this, something that we call anansi. Yes. You know, when there is not enough blood supply, the place becomes numb. So you start having these. So you don't wait to see all these things before you come to Medimosi. It could be that something is already happening within the body. That is why you need to check regularly to make sure that everything is in order.
Let's look at the risk factors and the complications if you choose not to attend or treat these things.
So everybody is at risk once you have blood vessel. Everybody is at risk, irrespective of what you eat and all that, because the body also produces the cholesterol and all that. Yeah, so the first person to be at risk is everybody. But then if you are someone who takes in so much fatty foods, it means you may be at a higher risk than the others, because the body is producing the cholesterol and you are also consuming so much food that is rich in cholesterol. These fries and all that, they contain so much polyunsaturated fatty acids, and it can lead to these atherosclerosis. Also, being obese is one of them. That doesn't mean that those who are not obese don't have these conditions, but then being obese could lead to that. A family history of atherosclerosis, if someone in your family has the condition, it means that, yes, it's hereditary. Because the body produces it, it means that there is a command in your body to produce the cholesterol. Yeah, so if someone is in your body, your family having it, and it's due to the fact that there is high production of the cholesterol, then it means that all the people within the bloodline could also be having that condition. Yeah, so if your parent or someone close to you have a heart attack or which a condition that atherosclerosis can lead to, then it means that you are also at a higher risk of getting it. Yeah, so these are the risk factors. But as I mentioned, everyone at all could get atherosclerosis. It's not for men, it's not for women, anyone at all.
Anyone can get it.
Yeah.
Doc, how do we treat it?
That is where the Medimosis garlic capsules comes in. Yes. So last week we mentioned that it's good. It reduces the low density lipoprotein, and the low density lipoprotein is what builds up in your blood vessels. So as you take the Medimosis garlic capsules, because it's rich in high density lipoprotein, definitely when the high density lipoprotein goes high, the low density lipoprotein will come down, and invariably your total cholesterol will also come down.
Drop.
Yes. So if you've done any cholesterol test or you are having any of the symptoms that I mentioned, pains in the chest, pains in the legs, unexplained pain within any part of the body, it could be that there is that buildup of blood cholesterol within your blood vessels, and you need to get Medimosis garlic capsules to be able to cleanse the blood vessels for blood to flow well, and also to help the blood vessels to relax, to open up. It's a vasodilator, so it opens the blood vessels so that the blood can flow well. If you have these conditions and you don't attend to it, it may lead to stroke, as you mentioned, because these blood vessels, when the cholesterol builds, it's like doing a stew and putting it in the fridge. You see that the fat becomes hardened
on the top,
and sometimes it can crack. So some of these buildup of fat can crack, and it can travel to the brain. So when it travels to the brain, the blood vessels within the brain are smaller, so it can get clogged there, and there wouldn't be enough blood supply to the brain. That can lead to the stroke. Also, when it becomes so hardened and the pressure of the heart is pumping the blood, it can burst. So you can have something that we call hemorrhagic stroke. So there are two types of stroke. We have
will burst?
The blood vessels can burst. Yeah, it can lead to something that we call aneurysm. So the aneurysm can cause the blood vessel to burst. The aneurysm, you know, the time that we used to tie water, you see that when that water fall on the ground and it doesn't burst, the place becomes swollen.
Yes, it becomes soft.
Yes, it becomes very soft. Yeah, that is what we call aneurysm. So when the blood vessels becomes so much blood get clogged at one particular part, it can swell up, and the least thing can cause it to burst, causing you to be bleeding internally. So it can lead to hemorrhagic stroke. It can lead to ischemic stroke. I believe as time goes on, we'll talk about those conditions.
Those other ones.
We get to understand. But Medimosis garlic capsules is there for you to relieve you of all these conditions that we've talked about. You can visit Medimosis at Adenta Barrier. So when you are when you're at Medina going to Ebri, we are the Adenta police station on your left side. You can come there. It's a herbal clinic. It's a orthodox clinic. It's a diagnostic center. It's a dental clinic. You can walk in to have all the checks that you need to do there. You can also visit us at Ahinima Kokobin in Kumasi. Also at Tema and Ashaman, we are at Ejay Kojo behind the School for the Deaf, and also Accra Central AESL building. Our numbers are on your screen. You can pick it and call us. For the Medimosis garlic capsule, you can get it from any pharmacy. You can walk into any pharmacy to get Medimosis garlic capsules, or you can come to any of our branches if you want bulk purchase.
Doc, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So today we're talking about atherosclerosis. I have pronounced
you nailed
it well. I nailed it. That's one. I wish shout out to Desmond Kwekudan, so who is enjoying himself wherever he is. Thank you very, very much for having us in your home from 5:30 through to almost 7:30. My name is Nanaya Tanobwache. Up next is Good Morning Ghana. A big shout out to the production team, and a big shout out to Kwesi Babwache and Nana Kwesi Ijaba. Thanks for doing the watching. At 3 to 4, I'll be back with entertainment review, and today you have to tune in. Enjoy the rest of our program.